So, Rob, I heard this speech by J.D. Vance giving to the Europeans in Munich, and I was kind of blown away because you don't see many politicians talking straight like them, really telling them that you are promoting democracy, you're promoting free speech, yet you're withholding it, you're not allowing, and especially it's against the Christians. You see, he talked about a person who was praying outside an abortion clinic. He was praying and he got arrested, he got fined, he got put in jail because he was praying silently. And yet we have other groups, especially Muslim groups, who are praying out loudly. They are going and raping people, and authorities know about it. They're not doing anything about it. And even we have similar cases in Germany as well. And finally we have somebody who's speaking like this, but there's a lot of outrage against JD Vance because of that speech in Europe. What do you think of that?
Well, I think we've just gone through a long, hard fight and a campaign against similar thought in the United States. It's almost like J.D. Vance going to California and having a speech against what's happening in California that they're trying to export to the rest of the country. And most of us don't agree with what's going on. So a conservative American with an American character going over to talk to the Europeans that are far more, let's say, diplomatic, but also quite liberal in their thinking. I believe the European liberal is different than the American liberal. Now we see that as left wing. Most European liberals are not left wingers, but a different way of thought and a different way of diplomacy. And that's got us into a lot of trouble. And I think what right now we're trying to disrupt the old illegal immigration policies that have allowed a lot of things to happen, including this crime and things that they can't imagine and they can't seem to sort out. So nobody wants to really address the problem. So a guy like J.D. Vance, he's not worried about the politics. He's just trying to address the problem. I think that's the key. He wants to address the problem and solve the problems together. I don't think he wants to dissolve our relationship with our best friends and cousins, the Western Europeans.
Yeah, I believe the same. But as a believer, for me, it's not just calming, soothing. It's very inspirational for me to see someone standing up for Christian beliefs and Christian faith and defending Christianity, whereas there's been so much attack against Christians in the past couple of years.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and the other people, especially Muslims, they do whatever they want, and nobody says anything, and they're allowed to do whatever they want to do. But Christians are always under this attack. Do you believe the same, or what are your thoughts about that?
No, 100%. I've been working in that arena to help persecuted Christians and persecuted people in general for at least a decade now. What has been happening factually is that this separation of church and state has led to keeping Christianity on marginalized and keeping all the other religions increasing for some strange reason. So we're because Christianity has led Western Europe for the last 1,000+ years, it's now not so popular on the liberal side of thought or the left side. And that's one way to use politics against religion and divide even further to take more power, in my opinion. And I think the facts are showing us that.
Yeah, so there is this attack against Christianity, and we need more people like J.D. Vance and like others who are supporting Christianity. But somehow it's so strange that even Christians, even believers, even pastors don't see it that way and see this as a wrong direction by the current administration.
I think we're talking about lions and lambs a little bit. I believe that a lot of the Christians in politics are see being humble and being meek and being soft-spoken and being understated. That's a Christian virtue, and certainly it is and it can be. And now we have a couple of lions that are not going to allow Christians to be marginalized, abused, or even persecuted like they are actually being now.
So let's pray for more lions like that, because we definitely need to move in this direction. And I believe more and more believers are going in that direction. They are becoming more bold. They're becoming more vocal, not in a violent way, but just to stand their ground and ask for their rights as
Well,
well.
I think that's what America is about. I think that's what Western society is about speaking your mind. If you choose to be a Christian, how could it be possible that anyone would support that you're marginalized or not allowed to talk about Christianity? It's easier to talk, for me, it's been easier to talk in the Middle East about Jesus than it has been to approach somebody in the West.
Wow, that's really interesting. I just saw a clip this morning about somebody from Germany, like somebody was in charge in Germany, saying that yeah, we believe in free speech, but free speech has its limits. What are the limits for free speech?
I'm not sure what the limits are. Free speech means free speech.
Yeah.
If you're threatening people with their lives, that's not free. You're not allowed to do that. So again, I believe in all the issues that we're facing. If we apply the law that is there already,
Hmm.
and then we look at situations such as in London, if a terrorist is threatening somebody with their life, saying they're going to cut their head off, there's nothing you can do until there's actual action happening. And that's a stated case with friends of mine. And that's lunacy. So that's where freedom of speech is cut off. That's an actual assault. That's an actual death threat. And that should be punished very harshly as a felony case.
Except if you're a Christian and you are praying in your heart,
Precisely.
not even doing anything, nothing violent, you can still be arrested, you can be fined. It's a very strange world that we are living in.
Well, I think cases like that should certainly be overturned. But the problem is the left has enacted laws that are illegal. So they have enacted laws that say to protect the abortion clinic, you can't be within 150 meters doing certain things. Having a silent prayer anywhere has never been a problem. The problem is they don't want any opposition. And so they've enacted ways to stop the opposition that's actual common sense and following the normal laws, following common law. And that's what we need to attack.
There was also this talk about maybe, banning even people praying in other places. And I know this is a very extreme version, but there is also this notion of, seeing which people, how people are praying in their homes. I hope we will never go in that direction, but there was an idea, something like this, can be very dangerous.
Well, when I grew up and we had prayer in school, we stood and said the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't see how that's some right-wing idea to pledge allegiance to your own country, especially for kids to understand and respect their country. And when we had prayer, the silent prayer became from the principle leading a prayer. A couple of years later, it became silent thought, and we had silent thought where everyone could pray individually for that minute.
Mm.
And they finally banned that, and there's no silent prayer, there's no active prayer, silent prayer, or silent thought time anymore, because that would be offensive to some people. And the problem is the country is being run by a very small minority of people that claim they're offended by prayer and Christianity or Christian virtue or values, and we're being run by this tiny minority. And that's got a great media effort to make sure that it's marginalized. And if you just watch Hollywood, you'll see a lot of it. So right now, I think we're seeing a kind of some type of revolution, not a physical revolution, but an ideological revolution, where the common people are saying this doesn't make any sense, and we are going to be free to worship the way we want to worship, and the majority should be able to do that.
That's when you say that, it's sort of there is a, how can I say it, a pain in my heart that prayer that is so powerful, prayer that is so helpful, people are blinded and they don't see that the devil is misleading them into going away from prayer, going from a active prayer to a silent prayer to a silent thought, and nothing at all. And they are marginalizing the power of prayer. They are disconnecting people from the power of prayer. And somehow you and me and everybody, we have to get back into the people's thoughts, saying that what is the power of prayer, because many people think it's a waste of time, but to me personally, it has helped immensely, and I believe it has helped you immensely as well.
Yeah, I think when as a Christian person and a person who's applied prayer and the Christian teachings and had personal experiences in that regard, you don't have a giant question of whether there's a spirit world or not spirit world, or is any of that exist really. There's no question in my mind about it. We don't need to take that and force it on people, but I don't believe that's being done at all anyway. We have freedom to choose what we want to choose, but that freedom for Christians is being marginalized.
Yeah, just for the Christians especially. So we have to be vocal about it. Thanks for sharing your thoughts.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay.